Hi, this is Alimayo Arango of littleguy.cgi.com, and today I want to show you how to use the open source program Makehuman to bring easy, customizable humans into Blender 2.74. So let's get started. Okay, what you see now is the Makehuman program. Makehuman is very well named because what this program essentially does is it allows you to make humans and customize the different features of those humans, and it allows you to bring those humans into a variety of programs, one of which is, of course, great interest to us, and that's Blender. And you can just go to makehuman.org to get to the web page and just download it. Like I said before, it's open source, it's totally free, and I'm going to show you some of the features of it now. Okay, when you look over to the left, you see the general settings for Makehuman. If you slide the gender slider all the way to the left, you have a female character to work with. If you slide your gender slider all the way to the right, you have a male character to work with. This is pretty impressive here. You know, we have our male character here, right? If I take this slider and slide it all the way down, I have a baby character. If I slide it all the way up, then I have a character with more age. Just very impressive. And this right here, what you see, is just the general settings for Makehuman. Okay, as we look further down in the list, we see we can increase the muscle for the character or decrease it. You know, affect the weight, the height, the proportions of the character. Then we have settings even right here for different types of people that we want the character to look like. By the way, this is Makehuman 1.0.2, which you can see right here, just so you know which version we're working with. If you look down towards the bottom of the page, you can even see that Makehuman actually lets you see, did you have the character set for male, for the age to be 25, for the muscles 96%, for the weight. I mean, the height. I think the program is amazing. The fact that it's open source is also very cool. I had seen a tutorial by Darren Lyle. He has a great YouTube channel with a lot of great YouTube Blender videos. I saw him talking about this, and I had tried Makehuman before a while back. I was not impressed with it. Just seemed very glitchy. I tried it again. Same thing. Seemed a little pretty glitchy. Now though, it's very professional, very polished. I still have some rendering issues as far as the clothes in here. We'll get in that a little bit later, but Makehuman's an impressive package. Okay, if we click the next tab over, this is the gender tab. And then the lag you see is, I believe, from my screen capture. It's not from Makehuman itself. But when you press this tab, which is the gender tab, you have different options that are mainly doing with if you're working on a female character. If you click the next tab over, where you go to face, you can adjust the age of the face, the angle of the face, the shape of the face. Pretty cool. And by the way, when you're working with Makehuman, normally with Blender, when you're working with Blender and you zoom your mouse in, you roll it up to Makehuman, to make it zoom forward or zoom towards you, you roll your mouse back. Also, Makehuman will zoom in according to where your mouse is at. So if you want to zoom in on a character's face, you would put your cursor over the character's face and then roll your mouse, and you'll see that even though I'm not moving the mouse, Makehuman is trying to bring the character's face in for us to see. And since we have that face zoomed in, you see if I take this slider here, which is oval, it actually is changing the character's the shape of the head to make it a more oval head. Okay, and if you look to your right, you can see that here we have the head shape. So these options right here are just for the head shape. However, if we click head size, you can see now I have even more options for the head size. Yeah, just a lot of different options. I mean, Makehuman even has details set up where you have, just the eye, and I mean it's amazing. How many options they have for this program? And again, the fact that it's free, it just I don't know, just very very cool. I mean, more options and nose size details, nose features, mouse size feature details. Sorry, mouth features, right ear, left ear, chin, cheek. If we click on the torso, you'll see similar options. So here is just the torso part right here, and you can see the options here. Matter of fact, the options don't even fit fully on the screen right here. You have a scroll bar that goes down. If I clip hip, it lets you go to options to just deal with the hip, stomach, buttocks, pelvis. Very very cool. Arms and legs, very similar. And I'm going through this. I want you guys just to get how customizable your character can be. You have right hand, left hand. I mean, they have it separated so you can even take detail to that level of just working on the one hand. The customability is very very nice in Makehuman. Okay, the whole time I've been showing you these options, we've just been in the modeling tab. When we click to Geometries, or the Geometries tab, you can see we have these different options here, and again, just very impressive. If you click teeth, for instance, you see right here where it says none. By default, you start off with no teeth, but if you click right here, or one of these other teeth meshes, Makehuman will put teeth mesh into your character's mouth. So I'll just click this this one right here. Also, if you click tongue, and you can see again by default you have no tongue, but if you click here, Makehuman puts a tongue inside of your character's mouth. Same thing for eyelashes, eyebrows. Very cool. Okay, so we're just going to make sure we have this tongue option clicked. And you can see that it's clicked when it's highlighted. Sometimes in Makehuman I'll click and I'll see like I clicked it, but it's not highlighted like this orange color. So to make sure you have it selected, make sure that the option you want is highlighted and the where you came from, the none isn't. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to zoom back, and you sit there and say, okay, that's cool, you have a very customizable character, even to the point where you can put teeth and mouth on. However, you still have a character that doesn't have clothes on, so how useful is that? And what's cool is Makehuman, you look right here, I click close, and you actually have different clothes that you can bring in. If I click jacket, now the jacket here, and this is what I had mentioned earlier, like I think I said rendering issues or whatever. Inside of Makehuman, for me, for whatever reason, it doesn't show right. However, in Blender, it does actually render out how it's supposed to. So if you want to add a jacket, you just click there, jeans, you click here. A hat, you have shoes, different shirts. You got a work shirt right there. Put some shoes on them. So now you have, Makehuman let you customize a character, and then also it allows you to put, basic clothes on the character. In addition to that, you can click hair. And you can see that Makehuman will even give you hair for the character. And a turn to swivel to look at your character in Makehuman. You hold your left mouse button and just turn to the side, and it'll swivel your character. So yeah, Makehuman, you can just imagine if you have a project you're trying to work with. I mean, you could be working on a still image, you could be working on an animation. Makehuman will allow you to make characters fairly quickly and bring them in uh, to other programs, and for our main concern to Blender. Okay, what you see here is I took the clothes off the character and the hair away because I generally prefer to uh, make those assets on my own. However, if I had a project where it had to be done in a quick amount of time, I could definitely see myself using the clothes and hair options. Uh, you might sit there and say, uh, okay, you have a very customizable character in Makehuman. However, it's fairly high poly. Well, Makehuman has you covered there also, because if you click the Geometries tab, if you look over here where it says Typologies, where it says None, if I click here, I'm going to click wireframe so you can see the geometry we're dealing with. So you can see we have a fairly dense mesh right here. However, if we click right down here where it says Mail 1591, Makehuman just basically just lowered the detail of the mesh. So now you have a character that's much more easy to animate and to render than high poly mesh. And you can even go further. That's just my screen captures making us lag. Okay, and you can see we have even a lower, polygon count character. So, yeah, Makehuman's pretty amazing. I'm going to click back up here. And I'm just going to unclick this wireframe button. Okay, let me show you how you would get this character mesh out of here and into Blender. So what you would do is you would go here to the export button. Okay, so here is the export tab here. We just click the export button here. And out of all of the things that are impressive about Makehuman, Makehuman brings a very cool rig into Blender with this character. So you can, change the height, change the age, all this different stuff with your character. But then you can bring it into Blender. Instead of just being a character mesh, it actually comes in with a very competent rig. So to get this character mesh in with the rig inside of Blender, you would use Blender Exchange, which is a MHX file. So we'll click here. Okay, so after you have this selected, again, a Blender Exchange MHX file, then you click right here. And then this gives you, an option to put it where you want to put it. So put this here. Okay, so we'll just name it and then we'll click save. Okay, and this is just a message just telling you this mesh has been exported to users, blah, blah, blah. Basically it's letting you know it's sent it to the file that you just chose. Oh, that lag's annoying. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll go into Blender. We're using Blender 2.74. We'll delete the startup box for Blender. We're going to go File, User Preferences. As usual, if you've never used Blender before, I recommend you go to Input and then choose Select with left click. Blender's default select is with right click, and this I find can confuse people if they're coming from other 3D programs. As far as Makehuman, you want to go to Add-ons. And you want to make sure that you can bring in those Makehuman files. So see this right here where it says import, export, import, makehuman.mhx file. You want to make sure that you have a check mark here. Otherwise, when you try to bring your file in from Makehuman with the rig, it won't work. So again, you need a check mark here. And to get here, we went to File, User Preferences to open this up, and then we're in Add-ons. And how far is that down on the list? About a little bit more than halfway. Okay, after you make sure that you have that check mark next to the MHX file in add-ons, then what you would do is go to File, Import, and you look down for the, here you go, makehuman.mhx file. Click here. Where did I put that in? There we go. Okay, when you come into your files, just so you know this, typically what I do, like if I come in from Blender and I'm like, okay, where's it at? What I'll do is I'll go to my C drive, I'll go to users, I'll choose my username, I install it in documents, and then here's my Makehuman, the one that I'm using now, right here. So you'll just click inside of Makehuman. For me, it's V1, and then here's the folder that you guys saw me make new Makehuman save. I'll click there. Then you can see right here, new Makehuman save.mhx. So I'll double click here, where you can click import there. It's the same pretty much. And what you see here is the file that we brought in from Makehuman. Okay, and you can see the rig also that came in with this Makehuman mesh. Now, one of the things you can also see is basically if you look at the size of this Makehuman character compared to this grid, he's a giant, right? So you sit there and say, well, I don't want him to be, this gigantic, amazing size that he is. So, how do I get this down to a decent size where I can work with it? If it was just an object, it wouldn't be too much of a deal because you could just easily scale it. However, there is a way to, get this character down to the point where he's not a giant. And the way you do that is you just click right here, the scene button. I'm just going to hold my mouse here and just pull this out a little bit. Right here you have your units. I reckon if you're in the United States, which I am, I'll go to Imperial, and then I'll where it says scale 1.000, I'll click here and I'll put .05 and then enter. And now you can basically see your character compared to the grid. Now he's at a fairly easily sized to work with now. He's no longer a giant. The camera looks smaller and the light looks smaller. That's really not that big of a deal because you can easily change the size, and really the camera and stuff is just the appearance of how it looks. But anyway, this is, you have your character a respectable size just by going to scene. Again, for my settings, I choose to change it to put it on Imperial and then 0.050. You can also play with the different settings to, if you want the character to be bigger or smaller. Okay, so what I want to show you now is I'm just going to click on a piece of the rig. As soon as I did that, that took us right to pose mode. And I just want to show you, how to work with this rig and how cool this rig is that came in with Makehuman. Okay, normally when you're working with a rig, you want the legs to be set up with inverse kinematics. And Makehuman, you'll see that with this root bone selected here, if we take our manipulator and push down, the character doesn't bend down like we normally would want a rig to do in most situations. And to set that up, it's fairly easy. You hit the N key to bring up your properties menu. You scroll all the way down, and you're going to scroll down past all of this stuff right here. And you're going to look to where you see it says MHXFK/IK switch. And then where it says leg here, see it says FK standing for forward kinematics, which we don't want. When you click this, you'll see it switches from FK to IK, which is inverse kinematics for this one leg, which is what we want. So we're going to do the same thing for this leg. So it starts off saying FK, that's fine. You click it, and it changes to IK. And IK again means inverse kinematics. And if you're not used to rigging and you're really don't know what that means, basically what that means is before when we grab this root bone right here and we push down, the character went down. Now with these IKs or inverse kinematics set up on the legs, now when we push down, the character bends down. You can see how, you can imagine how easy it is with that setup there to create walk cycles and, different normal moves that the character would do. Okay, I'm going to press Alt-G with that root bone selected just to reset the location. And some of the cool things with this Makehuman rig, I'll zoom in on the hand for you to see. I'm going to click this finger bone right here. I'm going to click to turn on the rotational manipulator. I learned this from Darren Lau right here. I'm going to change this from global to gimbal. And now when I take this finger, I'm grabbing the red rotational line there. You can see the finger, bending in. And the weight painting is very nice. The details on the fingers are very nice. That is, very cool that we were, able to get this, the detail of that hand and the rig in all from Makehuman. If you wanted to select this hand and have it bend all at once, you just would hold Shift, select all the bones, go back to your rotational manipulator, and now you can see the fingers bending all together. So, cool stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to click here to turn that manipulator back to a location or move manipulator. I'm going to hold Shift and the middle mouse button. I'm going to pan down. Actually, turn on our screencast keys. I'm going to press N to take away this menu right here. This impressed me. You have your model come in, and I chose to have my model come in just this without hair or clothes or anything. However, I'm going to try to adjust this so you can see the eyes. So here's the eyes right here, right? Here's an eye target, set up, and if I hit G, you see that the eyes are set up. They're already rigged. I mean, they came in with the rig to be tracked. That is cool. Also this, I'm going to hold Shift and the middle mouse button to pan. You can see this. I just hit G, and you can see the eyelids are rigged. Pretty amazing stuff. That the mesh can look as good as it is, and then come in with this rig ready to go. If you remember, we set up for the model to have teeth and a tongue, and you might have said at the time like, okay, why have a teeth and tongue and all that when you can't see it? Well, and I hit R to rotate on the X-axis, and there you can see, there's our teeth right there in the mouth. Even this, I just thought was cool. They had the not extreme facial animation set up, but just that you could get a model that quick, and it actually has options already set up for you to start animating the face. And Makehuman even has more detail where it has the, you can actually grab the tongue. I'm hitting R to rotate on the X-axis, and you see that right there? I'm going to hold Control, hold the middle mouse button, and push in. I'm going to hold Shift and the middle mouse button to zoom. I'm going to hit R to rotate on the X-axis. You see that right there? So I'm actually animating the tongue now. And that's just cool. The level of detail that they set this thing in. That Makehuman set as far as having a customizable mesh with a rig that's customized and weight painted correctly when it comes into Blender. It's just impressive. I'm going to hold Shift and the middle mouse button to pan up. Something else that was useful to me with Makehuman was I was just looking at the rig and how they did things. I like this right here. I saw a thing that made me laugh. It was an article talking about Blender, and it was saying something about Elvis, if you wanted to have a character look like Elvis or whatever. But anyway, you see this right here, how the hips move. the rigs that I was making beforehand, uh, I did not have hip movement in. And from looking at this Makehuman and finding some own articles, I just learned how to set up hip movement for my own rigs. I'll probably do a tutorial on that, showing that in some way in the future. But anyway, right here, like the typical metahuman that Blender brings in isn't really set up, at least when it comes in, to give you hip movement like this. Uh, and I just think it's cool that Makehuman, does have that. Okay, something else that I wanted to show you guys. I had did a tutorial not too long ago about how to attach clothes to a rigged character mesh. So here we have we have Makehuman, which is a rigged character mesh. So I tried to use what normally works for my own personal rigs that I make, as far as bringing in clothes and putting them on the Makehuman character. And typically that's done by transferring weight from the character mesh to the clothes mesh, and it works well. However, for whatever reason, in Makehuman, it didn't work for me. Matter of fact, if you guys know how to make that work, I would appreciate you letting me know. But like I didn't bring clothes in on this mesh because I said I prefer to make them on my own. So you might sit there and say, well, if you can't, if you have to make them on your own, and basically if you have to make character clothes on your own and then rig them, it takes a while to rig the clothes. I mean, you can do that manually. However, that kind of defeats the purpose of Makehuman a little bit, where you have a quick rig and a quick character mesh. So this is one of the ways I found of being able to get a quick pair of clothes that you actually make and have them actually move along with your rig. Okay, and one of the ways you can do that is you click on the character mesh. You see, as soon as I clicked on the character mesh, it took us into object mode. I'm going to click on object mode, go into edit mode for the character mesh, and I'm just going to show you how to make some quick pants for this character mesh. And remember that the thing is that we're going here is not just to have pants, but to have pants that are already set up to move with the rest of the rig. So what we're going to do is go to face select. We're going to press the C key and select basically the general area where pants would be. I'm going to right click to get out of that. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button and turn to the side. Then I'm just going to press C again, and again paint these faces here. And the goal isn't to be perfect. I just want to show you, how you can make up clothes. Of course, obviously, if you put more time into it, it'll look better. All right, so we have a general area selected of pants. We have, by accident, I selected some vertices or faces here, so I'm going to press C to bring up paint select. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button, and when you hold the middle mouse button, it allows you to take away paint select. So I'm going to hit Z for wireframe, and then I'm going to hit C again because it wasn't taking them away, and now I'll hit hold the middle mouse button. You can see it took them right away. So I'm going to right click to get out of that. Then I'm going to press Z, and then I'm going to choose solid. Okay, with these faces selected, there's two things you can do. You can either duplicate the faces and make a separate pair of pants where there's still actual legs underneath the pants, or you can just choose not to duplicate the faces and just have pants without legs underneath, because generally you won't see the legs underneath. However, if you wanted to take your character and be able to put clothes on and off, then you would want to have actual leg geometry underneath the pants. So that's what we're going to do. So with these faces selected, we're going to press Shift D. We just duplicate the faces. You can see I'm just moving my mouse and then pull or push or click anything. I do this just so I know that the mesh is duplicated. I'm going to right click to get it to go right back to its place. I'm now going to press P to bring up our separate menu. I'm going to choose selection. And now those faces are now a new piece of geometry. Okay, so what we're going to do now is click here, go to object mode. Just hover my mouse here so I can see a better view, and you can see here's the Makehuman body, and then where it says 0.001, that's our duplicate there. So we'll select the duplicate. It's hard to see here because it's a duplicate, so it's pretty much blended in with the original model. We'll click edit here, and now we can see there's our actual mesh there. As a matter of fact, we'll double click here and we'll name this pants. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to press A to select the entire mesh. We're going to press Alt S, which is a different type of scale than a normal type of scale. And we're just going to scale these pants up some. Oops, not too much. We'll fix this here. Select these ones here. And I'll just delete them just for the sake of time. We'll leave the rest like that. Like I said, you spend time on the pants, you'll get them. But what we're going to do now is with face select on, we'll select this we'll click right here in the edge here to get that loop cut. Then we're going to hit C, we're going to paint here. I'm holding the middle mouse button just to turn. And I just want to make this part be a little bit scaled out a little bit more. I press C because I don't want that part there. I push C and I'm holding the middle mouse button to unpaint right there. Pushing C for paint select and holding the middle mouse button to unpaint again. And then I'm going to press Alt S. Turn these back on again. Alt S just to bring those pants out a little bit like that. I'm holding shift and the middle mouse button to pan up. I'm going to hit A to deselect everything, A to select everything, which I do just to make sure nothing's selected, then A again to totally deselect everything. So I held Alt and I selected an edge loop right there, and that allowed me to grab all the edges right there. And I'm going to press Alt S, just scale this up some. I'm going to press A to deselect. I'm going to press Alt, hold Alt here. I did the same thing, but holding Alt allowed me to select this loop cut. Then I'm going to press Alt S, just so the pants come out a little bit at the bottom. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to press A, actually hit A twice to deselect it. Then I press A again to select everything. I'm going to go very quickly to materials, and I'm going to click this plus here, the plus all the way to the right. Then I'm going to click new here. I'll just pick like a bluish color for the pants, just so you can see a difference. Then I'm going to click assign. So now when I click back to object mode, you can see there's our slightly misshapen pants, on this character. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to click on the rig, and you'll see I'm going to hold the middle mouse button just to rotate that. When I take the manipulator while selected on the root bone and push down, you can see that the pants that we made are still weight painted. There's a little issue right there. You could just go back into mesh mode and pull that out. But for the most part, this I'll hit G here. You can see that the pants are moving along with the rig. So that's just a way of having the being able to make fairly quick clothes. Again, if you spent time working on the clothes, you can have them be better. But it is neat that there's a way where you can have your own customizable clothes and quickly make them, and then have them actually work along with your Makehuman rig that came into Blender. I'm just gonna select this root bone here, press Alt G. Okay, so you might say, okay, look, I want to work on a a character, I don't want to have the rig. I don't want to have all the stuff with the rig. I just want to have a body mesh to work with that, the basics of the form of the shape of the body is done. I'm not concerned about the rig, right? Okay. So to do that, basically what you can do, I'm actually going to go to File, New, and get a new Blender file here. We'll go back to Makehuman. So here is the original, customizable character that we, made here in Makehuman. So to export, we went to here. And to bring this character in with a rig in, what we did was we selected Blender Exchange MHX file, and that is what brought the rig in with Blender. However, if we just want the character mesh, we can select Wavefront Object and then click here. Make sure that you change your name so that you don't. Well, I guess it's an object, so it wouldn't save over the MHX file. But I'm going to put just mesh, no rig. I'm actually going to go back to new Makehuman save. I'll make another folder. It just says just mesh, and put it in here. Okay, so now we have, and there's the message telling me this mesh has been exported to, blah, 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 just mesh. So it's letting me know it put out that wavefront file. So now we'll go back to Blender. We'll delete the cube here. Hit X to delete the cube. Okay, very similar to when we brought the MHX file in. We had to make sure there was a check mark in the add-on section of Blender. We have to do the same thing for the wavefront object. So we'll go to File, User Preferences, make sure we're on Add-ons. And if you look here where it says Import, Export, Wavefront Object Format, you just want to make sure you have a check mark right here. And once you do, I'm going to click here. So now you would just go to File, Import. Last time we went to MHX. This time we're going to Wavefront Object. We just need to search for our folder. So here it is right here. This right here, by the way, is your recent file. So instead of going all the way through your chain of folders, typically you can just go to recent and you'll see either the folder you were in or pretty recent or close to the folder you're working with. So anyway, here's our just mesh folder. So we can see right here, here is the new Makehuman save object that we just exported out. So this is the wavefront object. So we'll click here. This time we'll click the import object button. We can also just double click that file. So anyway, we'll click here. And you can see there is our Makehuman mesh, but without the rig. It's a giant like it was before. So we just go to scene just like we did before. Pull this out. I'm going to choose to go to Imperial, go to Scale, and I'm going to put .05, enter, and then now you can see he's at the same scale that we had as far as bringing the Makehuman mesh with the rig inside of it. Okay, and if you look, you can see that this character mesh from Makehuman came in with flat shading on it. So if you make sure you have your character mesh selected and press Z, then you can just go to Shade Smooth and you'll add smoothness to your character. If you look at your modifier menu button, you can see it came in with no modifiers. If you want, you can click. For more detail, you can click Subdivision Surface. I'll take it up to a view of 2, and now the character mesh has even more detail to it. Okay, and as this is just a character mesh, we can easily go into edit mode and manipulate it in edit mode. We can also click here and go into scope mode, and I'll just zoom in on the face. I'm going to hold shift and the middle mouse button to pan, hold the middle mouse button to rotate, and we'll go to the grab brush. I'm going to hit press F and then drag to make this bigger, and you can see we can just grab this character and change different facial features inside of scope mode. I mean, we can adjust the muscle size here. We can add detail in, creases in, and of course you can always go back to Makehuman and customize it there, and then bring that other character that you made back into here. So very cool. Okay, guys, that's it for the tutorial. I think it's important that you know that there's an open source tool like this that's available for you to quickly work on projects that you might be working on, such as animated projects or other projects. For those of you out there who like the videos on this channel and we share them, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. And to those of you who are new to this channel, if you like the videos on this channel and you would like to see more, please subscribe. Also, I now have a donation button on my homepage, and if you would like to give a donation of any amount, it would be greatly appreciated. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.